SOS, перепрошую. Теtyana Manziuk, координаторка подій мистецької агенції ArtPole. Oleksandr Vesheleni, програмний директор.
And we have Iryna, Vikyrchak, Valeriy Fianchuk, Tamila Tasheva, Tetyana Manziuk, Figel, and other guests. It's my pleasure to give the floor to Iryna Vikyrchak, and then I will announce our guests one by one. Dear friends, today we will speak about the second event on the framework of International Short Novel Contest Intermezzo. Last year, this festival was devoted to the life in a post-trauma space, and our objective was to discuss how it is possible to overcome some post-trauma things present in our society via artistic means, discussions, pieces of artistic work, etc. There are several agencies which are involved to these days. This is General Consulate of Poland in Ukraine, Czech Center in Kyiv, Vinnytsia State Administration, Polish Institute in Ukraine, NGO Modern Ukrainian Cinema, Contemporary Ukrainian Cinema, Crimea SOS, etc. We wish to present Vinnytsia as a cultural city and Ukraine as a cultural space in general. And this year we will present the main topic of this festival will be the sea as a thing which separates, the sea which unites people, the sea which washes the Crimean Peninsula, the sea that brings inspiration to people, etc. And this year, one of the main topics will be Crimean topic, the culture of Crimean Peninsula. At the same time, we will devote much attention to the marine topic in general, in arts, in creative work, and we expect to have our Polish colleagues, Belarus colleagues, all around Ukraine, etc. And the events will be held in different venues in Vinnytsia. Vinnytsia is very close to Kyiv and has a very convenient transportation both with Kyiv and with Lviv, with Odessa, with Dnipropetrovsk, with other cities, and that's why we invite as many people as possible to join us on May 26, 27, 28, and 29 in Vinnytsia. With this, I would like to give the floor to another speaker. I would like to remind you this was Iryna Vikyrchak, director of the International Short Novel Contest Intermezzo. And now I would like to present Tamila Tasheva, co-founder of the civil initiative Crimea SOS, who will describe the revival of this topic. I'm very pleased that on the framework of this year festival, we will have a special bulk of events devoted to Crimea, and we have invited famous Crimean cultural figures, artists to participate in this event. From the moment of annexation by Russia, we observed a huge national revival of Crimean Tatar idea, and there are a lot of people who disagreed with annexation. The latest data proved that around 21,000 Crimean residents left Crimea. Our data shows that this figure should be much higher. We have analyzed the data provided to us by border service, and the difference between the Crimean residents who went out from Crimea and returned back to Crimea, the difference is 73,000, which suggests that there should be around more than 70,000 of people who left Crimea. I'm very pleased that in the context of that annexation, the topic of Crimean Tatars became important even for the Vinnytsia region, because we have also dispersed Crimean Tatars living around this oblast. Also, we have the compact locations where Crimean Tatars live, because Vinnytsia offered several such locations to Crimean Tatars who fled from Crimea. And this culture is new to this oblast, and it may seem strange to local people. That's why we decided to bring closer to cultures, to bring closer the IDPs to the local community, to the community of local Vinnytsia people. Because we strongly believe that only being united we are able to overcome all the hardships and all the misunderstanding between different people on the one hand. On the other hand, I think it is the only way to allow Crimean Tatars to feel at home here in mainland Ukraine. That's why I would like to invite all of you to this festival. Thank you, Tamila. I would like to invite now to the microphone Oleksandr Vesheleni, Festival Program Director, Expert in Literature. To continue the topic of the special Crimean topic within the festival framework, I would like to recollect here the Crimean topic on the framework of the book Arsenale, which finished soon. And I would like to remind you that Kotzebensky wrote at least 4 novels in Crimea, 4 short novels in Crimea, and 3 of them were devoted to the life of Crimean Tatar. And actually, this is a good context for our festival, because Kotzebensky from Podillia, historical land, traveled to Crimea to earn some money, but instead of earning money, he got involved and was interested in the Crimean Tatar culture, and this stirred up his creative imagination. On the same time, we also have a movie here as part of our festival. The three episode series of Oleksandr will be shown on the festival without translation. Also, we were thinking how to establish dialogue between Crimean Tatar artists and their mainland colleagues, and we decided to have several discussions to understand whether it's worth writing on Crimea, how it's worth writing on Crimea, and also via movies, via artistic work. We try to present the trauma of Crimean Tatar peoples to their Vinnytsia compatriots, that is, to present the trauma of deportation, also in the annexation. It's not just it's not just not a series of events. That's very important for all the participants whom we will have from Poland, from Czech Republic, from Belarus, from Italy, from other countries. I think the topic of lost homes is rather universal in the context of contemporary world, in Balkan region, in the Middle East region, in the Southern European region. I think that that's an important context and important topic. And also on the framework of this festival, we will have the Europe Island project, or the Island of Europe project, devoted to small literatures, like small language literatures. And the example of Crimean Tatar literature will be presented, and in the context of what was written by Kotsibinsky, we will see via the glasses of Kotsibinsky, we will see the Crimean Tatar culture with the new eyes, and another smaller and not so much known literatures. I would like to give the floor to Valeria, who will describe the cinema project. So, Ms. Valeriya Sochyvets, curator of the festival cinema program from Organization of Contemporary Ukrainian Cinema. We will start from Alexander Muratov 3-episode series film, which will be shown in Crimean Tatar language without. Also, we will present Hatarma by Rustam Setablayev. Also, we will show the film about Crimean Tatars of German film director of show Klim Saha will arrive with who is Crimean Tatar and who shooted his film in Crimea. Do expect to have rather interesting discussion after this event. We already held discussions about this episode in Kyiv. There will be discussion about screen plays to the cinema, where we will discuss the issues of today's cinema. We will discuss the screenplays, the scripts, the narrations invented for the movies, etc. Then we will have a night of a short meter. and this will be short movies. And also there will be a separate section of our festival devoted to the students' works when they try to make short movies based on modern stories. And with this, I would like to give the floor to Ms. Eva Figel, Director of Polish Institute in Kyiv. Sorry for being late. But I would like to mention that this is for the second time when we are involved to the organization of this festival. I think that the meetings during the previous festival were proved to be very interesting both for Ukrainian and Polish authors, and we found out that it's very interesting to organize events not just in Kyiv but also in other regions of Ukraine. I think that our artists last year were very much impressed by Vinnytsia, by the meetings with Ukrainian colleagues. I wish to invite Madam Olga Tokalchuk, but we try to invite Mr. Pavel Hill, who I think he is from Gdansk. He is very interesting and might be very interesting for the in the context of this festival, because he focuses his literary interests on the Polish-German relations, and he speaks on the topic which remained from the past, which survived from the past, and discusses how they transform, how this past is manifested in the culture of the city, in the architecture of the city. And I hope that we will be able to involve him, and I think that his appearance on this festival might be very interesting, because he has what to share with the Ukrainian colleagues. Like the last year, we tried to invite to this Intermezzo festival director of the Conrad Festival. The Conrad Festival is designed for representatives of different literatures, for those writers who represent several literatures simultaneously, and that's why we would be happy to have him at this festival. I hope that this might be also interesting for Ukrainian participants of the festival and Ukrainian artists, because this will show them how it is possible to cooperate in unconventional ways, so to say. And we hope that we will encourage more international participants to come. Thank you, Madam Eva. And I would like to invite Tetyana Manziuk, events coordinator from art agency ArtPole. Good afternoon. I think that one of the most natural point of the program will be
тому, і ідея його полягає в тому, щоб
the artistic path in Vinnytsia. The idea is to produce some interesting artistic accents, ornamentations, which would remind to people about Crimea. This will be continuation of the long-term artistic action started a year ago, and Vinnytsia was among first cities which joined to this art project. The artists were inspired by Crimean stories of Mikhailo Kotsibinsky, and based on the images, based on the phrases from those stories, based on the characters of those stories, Ola Mikhailuk had developed the artistic concept for decoration of the Vinnytsia City Library. I think that this will benefit, that Vinnytsia will benefit from this. And jointly with famous Crimean artists on ceramics, they developed the concept. So those who had a possibility to visit Crimean City Library, Vinnytsia Public Library during this year, you were able to see the result of their work. Also, we benefit from Yulia Hutsol, Vinnytsia artist, and her lab, which also supported this Crimea Recalling initiative. This year, we will continue the decorations in Crimean style decorations in the Vinnytsia Public Library, which will be one of the locations where we have events of the festival this year, and this will visually demonstrate the unity of people despite all those differences which we have. I would like to add that interaction between ArtPole and the Intermezzo projects continues. During last year, we started discussions about Crimea, and the idea of decorating the facade of the library appeared, and later Intermezzo and Vinnytsia City Council decided to create this permanent exhibition reminding about Crimea, and to establish such a venue for Crimean Vinnytsia dialogue. I think this will be the beginning of our continuous cooperation, which will allow to Vinnytsia and Crimean people to learn more about each other. The library, which is located in front of the Kotsibinsky Museum, will be the venue for not just programs for the adults, it will be the venue for the events for children, and we will discuss many topics with the children. I would like to add a couple of words from the Institute of Cultural Management program, that we should in practice decentralize the cultural events. That is, we should hold the cultural events not just in one of two historical capitals of Ukraine, but we should strengthen the soft power of culture and organize these cultural events in the regions which would strengthen the unity of the nation. Vinnytsia is located in the heart of Ukraine, and that's a good venue. And keeping in mind that we have a strong Crimean Tatar community in Vinnytsia, and we are happy to invite you to Vinnytsia in late May. Before we all finish, will you please remind the exact dates for the festival? The days of the festival are May 26th, May 29th. We will have more than 40 events with participation of more than 100 participants, and the festival traditionally happens in Vinnytsia, but our team sometimes organizes some events on the venues of major cultural events around Ukraine, like the Arsenal of Books, and we are going to involve all the locations which Mikhailo Kostyubinsky mentions in his creative works, like Gutsulia, Podilla, Crimea, Odeshina, etc. Thank you very much. Let us have now Q&A session. Darina Boyko, Kultura TV channel. What international participants do you expect to have from abroad, and in what locations? Madam Eva mentioned that we are waiting for Pavel Hila confirmation. We have Patricia Kupova from Czech Republic, and from Belarus we'll have Algerd Bakharevich, one of the most interesting prose writers, Nelly Shakhnazaryan, a dramatist and a prose writer from Armenia. Also, we expect to have Lily Hyde, the British journalist who is the author of the charming Land about Crimean Tatars, and also we will have a famous Ukrainian participant who's also we will have Taras Prahayska, Anatoly Dnestrovy, Haska Shiyan, Arter Chapay, so many Ukrainian famous literature figures. You can find the full list of participants in our internet website. And about locations. On the one hand, we like everything new, but on the other hand, we have already traditional venues. We have Kostyubinsky Museum. We have the Vinnytsia City Cinema, Rodina, bookstore, the central square in the city, and the municipal library, which joined to our The Path project. And the question, what the weather will like? I think that late May promises to be good. And last year we found that usually this time of the year should be the best. And moreover, Vinnytsia is located on the southern Bug River, and one of the events will be river journey along the and whether you will continue any traditions that was started during the first festival, and whether you expect on surprises. We won't talk about surprises. As for traditions, I would speak about traditions in the context of our locations. For the first, we started our events in the apple orchard of Kotyubinsky, and now from that apple orchard we moved to the streets of Vinnytsia and involve a broader audience, but we speak on Mikhailo Kotyubinsky and his creative work. Each year we devote to the one of the main topics of his creative work, and all at the same time we try to see the socially vulnerable, socially sensitive topics via the color of Mikhailo Kotyubinsky's approach. That is, we will build all the events around the artistic nuclear or the artistic meaning of our festival. Thank you very much. And at the end, I would like to thank you. I come from Vinnytsia, that's my native city. I'm very happy that this festival is held in Vinnytsia by those people who were not born in Vinnytsia. I would like to ensure you that very soon we will have a new Intermezzo location in Crimea, so next year in Crimea. Thanks to the Ukrainian Crisis Media Center. Please come.